Some truths aren't meant to be told. Others, they were never meant to be heard. But the most dangerous of all are the secrets we choose to share. Some things are better left unsaid, but even more are best left entirely unshared. Throughout the ages, the rise and fall of powerful men, mighty kingdoms, and vast empires have often hinged on a single slip of the tongue, one revealed secret, and everything crumbles. Secrets hold immense power. They can act as shields to guard our souls, or swords that end up turning against us. But what if there are some secrets so vital, so deeply personal, that they should never be revealed to just anyone? The ancient Stoics understood this well. They weren't just wise in their words, but wiser still in their silences. They practiced restraint, discretion, and a profound discipline of silence that protected them from harm and preserved their dignity in a noisy world. In this video, we will explore 10 important things a Stoic should never reveal to others. Each of these is crucial, and they're all deeply interconnected. If you truly want to understand how silence becomes strength, stay with us until the end, because the last one might change the way you see your entire inner world. The silent battles. You're waging behind every calm face is a storm you'll never see. Behind every smile, a silent struggle. Everyone is carrying something, but not everything should be shared. Our personal struggles shape us. These private wars, the ones no one sees, are often the fires that forge our strength. They mold our character, test our limits, and redefine how we see the world. As Epictetus reminded us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. There is a sacredness in these unseen battles. They carry weight, they carry wisdom. But should they be shared with everyone? Certainly not, because while everyone may hear, few truly listen, and fewer still understand. Today, in an age obsessed with oversharing, there's an almost constant pressure to be real online, to expose every emotion, every setback, every thought. But a Stoic knows better. Not every burden is meant to be broadcast. Some trials are best left unspoken, not because we're hiding them, but because we're honoring them. The decision to share should be deliberate. Choose carefully, confide only in those who have earned the right to hold your truth with care. Some of your hardest-won lessons are not for public display. They are private medals of honor, proof of your resilience, not entertainment for the crowd. And when it feels like no one would understand anyway, that's okay. Sometimes, the music of your pain is too deep for common ears. Sometimes, the sanctuary of your own heart is the only place sacred enough to hold your story. As the Stoics believed, true growth doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers in silence. The whispers of self-doubt lead smoothly into the next section. As we explored earlier, some struggles are best carried in silence, not as a burden, but as a testament to your strength. And that same wisdom applies when confronting another formidable force. The inner voice of doubt, the whispers of self-doubt, especially when taming the unruly voices within, those subtle whispers of self-doubt. You need your full attention, not the world's. These aren't the kinds of battles meant for an audience. Isn't it wiser to first patch the holes in your boat before inviting a crowd to watch it sink? When you begin doubting yourself, wondering if you're good enough, fearing failure, hesitating to act, those moments demand silence, not spectatorship. They call for solitude, not spotlight. A Stoic understands. Healing and clarity often arise in privacy, not performance. Let those questions echo in your own mind before echoing them across a room. The world doesn't always respond with grace. Often, it amplifies the very fears you're trying to quiet. One confession of uncertainty can invite a flood of conflicting advice, judgment, and projection. Suddenly, your personal reflection becomes public noise, and the clarity you sought slips away. Instead, walk into that inner arena. Alone, engage with your doubts directly. Converse with them, reason with them. Sit with them long enough to understand their roots. That is where transformation begins, not in validation from others, but in mastery over yourself. And in a world that thrives on spectacle, solitude becomes a quiet rebellion and your most powerful ally. Your future plans. Now, let's talk about something equally sacred, your future. Have you ever felt someone watching you, curious about your next move? It's a strange pressure, isn't it? When your aspirations become entertainment for others. There's something deeply empowering about holding your future plans close. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom. When you keep your intentions private, you preserve control. You give yourself room to grow without scrutiny, and you keep unpredictability on your side. We live in a culture that celebrates announcements. Every new idea, goal, or dream is shared before it's even taken its first breath. But there's power in keeping your cards close to your chest, in letting your actions speak before your words ever do. History offers sharp reminders. Napoleon Bonaparte, a military genius, often revealed his plans too confidently, underestimating his opponents. His ambition was immense, but so was the cost of his overexposure. The Battle of Waterloo didn't just mark his fall, it demonstrated how overconfidence and loose lips can undo even the greatest minds. On the other hand, Howard Hughes, one of the most enigmatic business moguls of the 20th century, was known for his secrecy. He kept his ventures shrouded in mystery, often staying one strategic step ahead of his competition. That wasn't just eccentricity, it was a masterclass in control. In today's hyper-connected world, where every idea is one post away from public consumption, the Stoic path offers a counterbalance: restraint, discretion. By guarding your future plans, you gain flexibility. You give yourself space to change direction, refine your vision, and pursue your goals without the weight of public expectation. As Seneca wisely said, if a person doesn't know to which port they sail, no wind is favorable. Set your course, know your direction, but don't broadcast every turn. Remember, you're not withholding because you're insecure. You're protecting something sacred, your journey. When the world finally sees your steps, let them be deliberate, intentional, and always one move ahead. By temptation of excessive comfort, and that brings us to a temptation many overlook: comfort. It might sound strange, but there's great wisdom in keeping your quiet ventures beyond comfort to yourself. Why? Because when you share every challenge you take on, every 5 a.m. wake-up, every ice bath, every step outside your norm, the meaning can shift. Suddenly, it's no longer about growth. It becomes about applause. But the Stoic doesn't chase approval. They seek progress. The next time you choose discomfort to grow, perhaps rising early to study or walking in the rain just to reconnect with life, resist the urge to announce it. It's not a performance, it's a pilgrimage. And that journey, when kept quiet, stays honest. Marcus Aurelius asked us through the centuries, is it for appearances or for genuine progress? History, once again, gives us powerful imagery. Alexander the Great, despite his status, slept on the cold ground alongside his soldiers. He ate what they ate, not for show, but to remind himself of reality, to remain grounded in hardship, not lost in luxury. We might not command armies, but our challenges are real. Our comforts are just as seductive. Today, with convenience only a click away, it's easy to seek the soft path. But it's the wind, the rain, the uphill climbs that carve out mountains. And in the same way, it's the hardships we quietly choose that shape us. So go ahead. Take those brave steps into discomfort. Just don't feel the need to narrate them. To the world, that's where we find our truest selves. away from the noise and deep in the silent forge of growth. Up next, we'll explore another hidden truth Stoics guard with care, one that, if mishandled, can quietly erode your inner peace. We just explored how embracing discomfort in silence helps build inner resilience. But what about the more delicate parts of ourselves? The ones we often hide, even from our own reflection. Your vulnerabilities and weaknesses. It's often said, every hero has an Achilles heel. No matter how strong, there's always that one exposed place, fragile, unguarded. As humans, we are no exception. Each of us is a blend of strengths and soft spots, resilience and rawness. And those vulnerabilities, they aren't flaws to be ashamed of. They are human. But just because they're part of us doesn't mean they should be on display for the world to see. There's a sacredness in our tender places, those quiet wounds we carry from the past. They deserve protection, not exposure. It's not about denial. It's about dignity. As Epictetus so wisely whispered through time, man is not affected by events, but by the view he takes of them. And that includes how we view our own weak points. Vulnerabilities are evidence of battles fought, of pain endured, and fears still lingering. They're the reminders of what we've overcome and what still challenges us. But sharing them too widely can do more harm than healing. The world doesn't always understand context, and once something sacred is spoken, it can be judged, twisted, misunderstood. By privately acknowledging these areas within ourselves, we give them space to breathe and heal. We strengthen them quietly. Over time, what once felt like a weakness can evolve into a source of quiet power. History offers profound examples. Abraham Lincoln, plagued by relentless failures and haunted by deep melancholy, rarely voiced his struggles publicly. Instead, he internalized them, letting them refine his empathy and shape his steady leadership. Contrast that with Julius Caesar. His fatal flaw was trust, especially in those closest to him. And it was that very vulnerability, known too widely, that led to his assassination on the Ides of March. These stories remind us, vulnerabilities are not to be flaunted. They are to be respected, especially by ourselves. In today's culture, there's constant pressure to bare your soul, to share every struggle. But you don't owe anyone that access. Some pages of your story are meant to stay closed, perhaps forever. Because sometimes, true strength is hidden in the chapters no one gets to read. Your personal grievances are... Let's talk about a different kind of burden. Personal grievances. Saying, holding a grudge is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It's true. Grievances weigh you down. They whisper in your mind, they gnaw at your peace, and most of the time, they change nothing. As a Stoic, you're called to process pain differently, not through ranting or venting, but through calm introspection. Instead of scattering your emotional energy outward, you gather it inward. You learn to master your responses. Epictetus once said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgment about things." That truth echoes deeply here. Because when you share every annoyance, every slight, every irritation, you're not just spreading negativity. You're also, often without realizing it, looking for external validation. You want someone to say, yes, you're right to be upset, but the Stoic path asks something different. It invites you to pause, to ask, is this grievance worth my energy? Can I control the outcome? Or is this simply noise? That brief moment of reflection is where your power lies. Some grievances dissolve once examined, others lose their sting. And the few that truly matter, those can be addressed with direct, thoughtful action. Not through drama, through discipline. History offers a somber lesson. Aaron Burr and Alexander Hamilton, two brilliant minds, let their mutual resentment boil for years. Words were exchanged, insults made public, tensions left unresolved. Eventually, they met in a duel. Hamilton lost his life. Burr lost his honor, and with it, his political future. Their downfall wasn't just due to disagreement. It was the result of public grievances left unchecked. The takeaway? Bitterness is not a badge. Carrying grudges loudly only weakens your focus, your clarity, and your emotional strength. So next time anger rises, consider this. Can you sit with it? Can you untangle it quietly? Because in doing so, you reclaim not just your peace, but your power. Coming up next, one of the most overlooked secrets, a force that can shape or sabotage your entire life if revealed carelessly. We just saw how managing grievances quietly can shield your peace. And now we turn to something equally delicate. How we carry our victories and our secret dreams. Your personal achievements and successes. There's a special kind of joy in achieving something meaningful. Whether it's a milestone, a breakthrough, or a small, quiet win only you fully understand. But in today's hyper-connected world, that joy often comes with an urge to share, to announce, to celebrate loudly. Yet the Stoic path teaches something different. It urges us to treasure those achievements internally, to sit with them quietly, and soak in their meaning, without rushing to seek applause. Why? Because validation from others is fleeting. It rises and falls with trends, opinions, and attention spans. But self-validation, the kind that comes from knowing you worked hard, stayed the course and grew in silence, is enduring. It doesn't need to be displayed to be real. When we broadcast every success, we risk cheapening it. What was once sacred becomes casual. What once felt personal becomes public property. And suddenly, a meaningful accomplishment is reduced to a scrollable moment on someone else's feed. Now, this isn't to say we should never share our joy. Celebration is beautiful, especially when done with people who genuinely care. But it's about discernment, about knowing the difference between sharing joy and seeking validation. True growth doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes, it's a quiet sunrise inside you. When we choose to savor that feeling instead of chasing likes or praise, we build something stronger, self-reliance. This self-reliance becomes a shield, a buffer against the highs and lows of public opinion. You're no longer at the mercy of someone else's recognition. You become anchored in your own sense of progress. History echoes with warnings about public pride. Take the legend of Icarus. Though mythological, the message rings true. Elated by his new power to fly, his warning, and soared too close to the sun. His wings, fastened with wax, melted, and he fell. Not because he failed, but because he flew for the wrong reasons. For pride, for spectacle. Let your achievements speak to you first. Let them deepen your roots before you shout them from the rooftops. In our modern era, where everything is shared, posted, and liked in real time, it takes real strength to keep something for yourself. So next time you accomplish something, big or small, pause, feel it, honor it, and ask yourself, who am I really sharing this for? The quiet desires of your heart. And just as we must guard our triumphs, so too must we protect our most delicate desires, the secret wishes that flicker softly in the quiet corners of our soul. Have you ever felt an unexpected tug at your heart? Maybe it was a wish to take up painting again, to dance barefoot in the rain, or to learn the piano at age 50. These gentle yearnings often come without warning, and they're easy to dismiss in the rush of daily life. We're tempted to voice them quickly. We think, if I share this dream, it becomes real. But does it? Sometimes, speaking a dream too soon invites the world to tamper with it. People question it, laugh at it, or offer opinions that bury it before it even has a chance to breathe. Not Everyone will understand why you suddenly want to learn the ukulele or start a small garden in your apartment. And that's okay, because some desires aren't meant for the crowd. They're meant for you, for your own joy, your own becomings. One silent Stoic might say, "Dreams whispered to the heart are for the soul, not for the stage." Even history offers a quiet lesson. Socrates, one of the most revered minds in philosophy, never wrote a single word himself. Everything we know of him comes through others, especially Plato. But in that absence lies a certain mystery. His unspoken desires, his personal thoughts. What might they have been? We'll never know. And maybe that's exactly as it should be. Sometimes the things we keep close are the things that keep us grounded. Up next, we explore a hidden truth, even more powerful than dreams or victories, the one thing that, once spoken to freely, can shape or sabotage the entire course of your life. Just as the quiet desires of your heart deserve shelter, so too does the most fragile and sacred of all, your inner transformation, your personal progress. When a caterpillar cocoons, it doesn't make a public announcement. There's no parade, no post, no performance. Yet within that stillness, something extraordinary is happening, a quiet metamorphosis. Now imagine if that caterpillar felt the need to broadcast every flutter of change. Not only would it distract from the process, but it might even disrupt the transformation itself. Much like that cocooned creature, our personal progress often unfolds best in silence. Each step you take toward becoming a better version of yourself, every new habit formed, every mindset shifted, every truth uncovered, is sacred. But here's the truth. Not all treasures are meant to be shown. Some are meant to be felt, deeply, privately. This doesn't mean you must remain forever silent. There's value in sharing growth when the time is right, when the motive is genuine. Sometimes your story can inspire others to begin their own. But the Stoics urged reflection before proclamation. Seneca once wrote, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." Notice, he didn't say, "Keep telling everyone how you're living." We live in an age of instant expression. A thought appears, and seconds later, it's tweeted. A victory arises, and it's instantly captured. For likes, a struggle surfaces, and we're tempted to vlog it in real time. This rush to share pulls us away from actually experiencing. Before you open up, pause. Ask yourself, am I sharing this for connection or for validation? That single question can reveal your truest intention. Marcus Aurelius, despite being emperor of Rome, kept his most profound thoughts in private notes, what we now know as meditations. These weren't crafted for applause. They were never meant for public eyes. They were raw reflections, intimate revelations. And perhaps that's why they're so timeless, because they were first and foremost for him. Let your own transformation be like that, not hidden, but protected, not boastful, but sacred. As you sail through the vast ocean of self-development, remember, you don't have to announce every stroke of the oar. Often, the most powerful journeys are taken quietly. And in the end, who you've become will speak far louder than anything you could have said along the way. The gentle ebb and flow of your emotion. And now we arrive at one of the most overlooked, but most powerful aspects of a Stoic life: the way we hold our emotions. Life's canvas is painted in bold strokes: joy, sorrow, anger, love, grief, hope. These colors swirl through us daily. And today it's common, even expected, to express them all instantly. A status update, a story, a post at midnight. But must every feeling be shared the moment it's felt? The Stoic way says, not necessarily. Restraint doesn't mean suppression. It means honoring the complexity of your emotions. Some feelings are still forming. Others are too raw to articulate. And when we speak them too soon, we risk diluting their truth, or worse, exposing them to misunderstanding. There is wisdom in sitting with an emotion before letting it speak. Think of Marcus Aurelius again, leader of a vast empire, surrounded by power, pressure, and expectation. And yet when he felt overwhelmed, he didn't deliver grand speeches. He wrote quietly in a personal journal. His thoughts, rich with emotion, were penned only for his own reflection. It is only centuries later that we glimpse those feelings, not as declarations, but as windows into a soul deeply introspective. Now ask yourself, when was the last time you truly sat with an emotion before expressing it? We live in a world that praises immediacy, instant reactions, quick commentary. But sometimes the wisest thing you can do is wait, let the emotion settle, let it reveal its depth. Then, if you still feel it must be shared, do so with care and clarity, because not everything needs a caption. Some feelings, just like the most meaningful sunsets, are best experienced in silence. Up next, we'll reflect on a final, profound, Stoic principle, one that shields your spirit from chaos and anchors your life with clarity and courage. We just explored the quiet strength in holding your emotions close, and when allowed to rest in silence, something powerful begins to unfold. When given the space to breathe and settle, often mature into something more refined, clearer, wiser, and sometimes completely transformed. What once felt like a storm of confusion might later reveal itself as a gentle rain of clarity. So the next time you feel an emotion rising, anger, joy, sadness, even inspiration, pause. Don't rush to react. Let it stretch. Let it soften. Let it evolve in the quiet. Because your emotions are part of your personal journey through the ever-changing landscape of life. And not every step along that path requires a spotlight. Some paths are best walked in solitude. Some feelings best understood in stillness, and some truths are most powerful when whispered only to your own heart. Remember, your inner world isn't a stage. It's a sacred place of discovery. When the time is right, if your heart truly wishes, then you can share, but never feel pressured. Your silence isn't absence, it's presence in its purest form. Thank you for walking with us through these 10 profound lessons in Stoic discretion. Your presence, your attention, and your support. That's what fuels this journey. It's the very foundation that allows us to keep creating content that reaches minds and hearts around the world. If there's a topic, an idea, or even a quiet question in your mind that you'd like to explore deeper, drop it in the comments. We read every one, and your thoughts are what guide us to continue delivering powerful, meaningful insights. And of course, if you found value in today's episode, let us know by hitting the like button and subscribe to the channel. It's a small act that makes a big difference in helping us grow this community of thinkers, seekers, and Stoic minds. Let's continue this pursuit of wisdom together. Before you go, don't miss this next video. It dives into anti-Stoic habits, those subtle, hidden behaviors that may be quietly undermining your growth. You might be surprised how many of them have crept into your daily life without you even noticing.